Well, with our credit just downgraded and 14 million Americans still out of work, the question is now being asked, is this a good time for President Obama to take a 9-day vacation on the vineyard? Here's how the White House responded yesterday to multiple questions about the president's break.
You said the president will not rest until the joblessness in the economy are worked out. But the president is obviously going on a vacation, and I'm wondering, is there any concern about the impression that the president going to Martha's Vineyard for 9 or 10 days might leave with the American people?
I don't think Americans out there would begrudge that notion that the president would spend some time with his family.
You seem to dismiss the idea that there was an image problem for the president. But I've noticed the last couple of days a lot of liberal columnists are starting to come out. I'm sure you've seen Richard Cohen was in the Washington Post yesterday saying that as the stock market was dropping heavily last week, he said that his quote was the president was whooping it up at his birthday party and the juxtaposition seemed appropriate. He does not seem to care.
It is the nature of the job that criticism comes in.
Well, we wanted to hear both sides on this, fair and balanced, so we're joined now by Ben Ferguson, host of The Ben Ferguson Show, and Rob Thompson, radio talk show host. All right, guys, so we always hear this about presidents. Doesn't matter whether you're Democrat or Republican, but that doesn't mean that it's never valid. And the question now is this criticism valid, Ben?
Yeah, look at the unemployment rates. Look at the fact this president, since he became president, has played golf on average about once every 10 days. Look at the fact he's gone to Hawaii more than I think I'll probably go into my entire lifetime just in the last year and a half. Plus, they were in Rio de Janeiro last year. And this is a president that I think the biggest issue is he doesn't understand when there's a crisis that he's supposed to lead. Remember, this is the same guy that said 50 days into the BP oil spill, okay, now I'm going to find someone's A to kick. Why not on day 1, 2, or 3? And I don't know if he's just given up or if he's saying, hey, maybe I'm a one-termer. I'm going to live the dream the rest of my time in office. I'm not sure.
You know, Rob, he's gotten criticism before when we were attacking Libya and the Japanese had suffered the tsunami and the earthquake. He went to Rio and was, dancing with the locals down there. And there have been some other incidents that people have accused him of being disconnected from the people. And the reason they're saying this is such a disconnect, it seems from what I've read, is not so much that it's a vacation as it's a vacation to Martha's Vineyard where the rental is $50,000 a week. And, Americans are really hurting right now and they're thinking, he can't relate to me at all.
Well, that's an absolute fallacy, first of all, about being in Rio de Janeiro and dancing. That was absolutely, that was a trade mission. That was to build jobs in America. And as far as any other
want
vacation,
that job then.
You go ahead and run because you're going to go ahead and lose. Right now, America understands that the president needs a vacation. And whether he's in the White House or he's on Martha's Vineyard or wherever, are we assuming that he does not have absolute control of what's going on? Keep in mind, Senate has adjourned. There's nobody there. And while he was there, the very Senate he was dealing with wasn't allowing him to get anything done. He capitulated to a lot of things that as progressives were allowed to happen while the Republicans didn't want to agree. So while he goes on vacation, let's not forget he's still president.
Here's the thing, Rob. If he's so weak as you're claiming, you're saying when Congress was there, he couldn't get anything done, so therefore he should go on vacation.
Absolutely, you got to do nothing Congress.
He can't get anything done.
Nothing Congress with a say no Republican side.
You're telling me now to everyone in the country is unemployed, including those that are hurting. You're saying your president, Barack Obama, this liberal president, literally cannot help you. Therefore, he should go on vacation because he can't do anything while he's in Washington. So let him have a good time. That's what you're telling me?
No, what I'm telling you is the very same Congress that has just adjourned left the FAA in a lurch without taking care of their funding, and they left town, and we had to drag their Republican butts back into town to vote for it to get the money back into the system.
Because I want to focus. I really don't think the average American is going to begrudge President Obama taking a little time off. I mean, the man has one of the hardest jobs in the world, and we want the leader of our country to be well rested and have time to reflect and so on. I mean, that's just, he's only human. He needs some rest, some time with his family. But the question, Ben, is there a problem with the vacation he has chosen? Because there was a story about how President Clinton was going to go to Martha's Vineyard back during his presidency, and Dick Morris, Fox News contributor Dick Morris, told him, don't do that. It's not going to look good. He wound up going to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, in checkered shirts and wrangling cattle. And there was a backlash saying, this is ridiculous. We know what you're up to. We're not stupid.
Yeah, but it's a lack of urgency on the part of the President of the United States of America, and it's saying, I'm the president, I can do whatever I want to, at the same time trying to act like he's in charge or feeling the pain of the American people. When you've got a stock market as volatile as it is right now, when you have issues where the president did not lead for months on end on trying to get a debt deal, and then it came down to the wire because of his lack of leadership, when you have a guy that's going to Martha's Vineyard, Rio de Janeiro, and Hawaii, all in a 9-month period, I've got a problem with as an American citizen when there's a lot of people out of work right now, and I think most Americans agree, and the president's approval rating is an all-time low because they realize he's not really leading right now.
Go ahead, Rob.
Well, unfortunately, Ben, at an all-time low, he still leads any Republican candidate out there, so we can discount that right there. Secondly, as far as taking the vacation, he is still in absolute control. According to your pollsters, I can certainly pull out any poll to show that the Democratic candidate, whatever name the Democrat, is leading any Republican. As of right now, the Republicans are the party of no. Everybody understands that they're the ones that refuse to tax the wealthy and make sure that the job creators, as you want to call them, are
Again,
able
Rob,
to create the
your
jobs
guy
that
is
they
the
are not
president.
creating.
He's supposed
So
to
if you're
lead.
acting as the president,
Okay, guys.
and as the leader, he is.
Okay,
He is absolutely taking care of business.
Got to leave it at that. But good
The leader
debate.
on vacation.
All right, Megan.
Good to see you both again.
I'm going on vacation.
Good to have you back.
And by the
Thank
way,
you.
I'd be a pickup. I would be a
A
pickup in
pickup.
Texas.
How about you, Ben?
Golf once every 10 days. I'm happy with that.
Oh, no, Ben didn't see the top of the show. All right, guys, see you later. We're still